here in the booth. Christina Weber back at the home studio. Chuck McConnell monitoring and listening in as well from Connecticut. And the Cactus Conference going to get the ball first to start the second half. They'll be going left to right as Mike Rose set to kick it off from his 30-yard line. Mesquite wearing the navy blue uniforms, red trim and white trim. White numerals, white pants with the red stockings. Cactus wearing the all-white uniforms, red numerals outlined in red and blue trim. There's a squib kick along the ground that's still loose at the 35-yard line. Falls on it at the 32-yard line. Does one of the players from the Cactus Conference. That's where Cactus will take over first down and 10 from their own 32-yard line.
Number 96 is the one that was made that play on that ball. Jeremy Ortega from Showtime saved it. I mean, it's kicking team. Mesquite was already almost on the verge of recovering that punt. Nice job by Ortega to just fall on it and give us possession to the Cactus Conference. And again, as we mentioned at halftime, the offense for the Cactus Conference needs to get some kind of rhythm. They cannot afford here a 3 and out.
17-7 the score. We'll see who is in at quarterback for Cactus. Ball sitting at the 32-yard line. Cactus going left to right. And Mr. Olivier joining us here in the booth. We'll get him on the air here in just a second. And it is Colton Brownson in at quarterback, I formation. Pressure coming up to right in the handoff. The play almost busted, knocked back all the way back to the 22-yard line. Talk about a jailbreak on defense. There were about 4 blue shirts. They were in the backfield before the ball even got handed off, JB.
Just again, dominant play here by the defensive line for the Mesquite Conference, and it doesn't seem like Cactus Conference has any resolution to stop the charge of the defensive line, as that was a big. You know, they don't mark it where he got hit. They mark it where he lands, and they pushed him back, and they mark it for like a 9-yard, almost a 10-yard loss.
Wow. Yeah, actually more than that. It looks like it's going to be loss of 11 on the play. Second down and 21 to go is Mr. Vera, probably the hardest working man in San Antonio tonight, joining us, and we'll give you a second to catch your breath. You've been running all over the place, so go ahead and catch your breath.
Trying to see who was the one that got the handoff there. Looked like number 25.
He probably wanted to give it back.
Troy Magnum.
Bouncing up under center. And Magnum is the up back. They give it to him on the left side, looking for running room. A flag comes in, but a loss of about 3 yards on the play, and the Mesquite defense all over this Cactus offense right now. We'll check the flag. A procedure penalty going to be called against the Mesquite defense. I wonder what.
So maybe we can, Aloy up here can explain to us what that procedure penalty is on defense. Once we get him on the mic.
Just make something up. You're the commissioner. We'll go with whatever you say.
What we're saying up here is maybe that they're blitzing, or they're doing something that's not part of the rules on this All-Star game.
Yeah, the All-Star rules, we're going Pro Bowl rules. So there was some confusion earlier too. That was the refs at one point were allowing blitzing and then they didn't, but we've ironed it out at halftime. So hopefully we can, go straight away. And yeah, I do need a little bit more education when it comes to football techniques.
High snap, Bronson up in the center, steps out of the blitz. He's got a man wide open, man, caught. He caught him to catch the 45-yard line. They did. Mesquite player saying that he didn't, but he did, hanging on to it. Number 2, that would be Louis Pineda, I believe, from the RGV Outlaws. On the catch. No checker. That's the other number 2, Alex Mata, who was also doing some kicking out there. So a nice pitch and catch from Bronson to Mata, and that might be the first.
I think that's the first down of the evening for the Cactus Conference, and good sign. As a nice job by Bronson scrambling, getting out of the pocket, was forced out of the pocket, rolled to his right, found Mata, and Mata juggled the ball, hang on, and big play for the Cactus Conference, the longest play of the gain of the day on offense.
First down and 10 from their own 45-yard line, going left to right, high snap. Bronson goes and gets it, fires it out to the left side, incomplete, overthrew his intended receiver. And Mr. Vera, you talked about it kind of getting ironed out at halftime. I would imagine still at this point, this league's still in development. There are some kinks to work out just in general. That's to be expected, right?
Oh, especially yes, sir, definitely. I mean, if I sat here and told you there's no kinks, I'd be lying to you. I mean, but I'm glad we're having kinks because we're going to take them out. And there's a lot of big things that could be expected in 212. This is the first game that these refs have actually done an All-Star game.
Right.
In San Antonio and Austin. So you know, we're working them, and the players are having fun.
That's the main
biggest
thing.
Yeah, the biggest thing is to have fun and show the competition that we have to offer in both leagues, both conferences.
Fly comes in to delay a game penalty. I would imagine the call against Cactus
it
has
says
been
false
better
start.
tonight. False start. Okay.
This time, something that I understand. False start on the offense.
Well, we just had the Texas Pride Bowl a couple of weeks ago on KMAX Sports. Pleased to be part of that. Now coming down here for the All Star game, and it's kind of neat to see all the fans in the stand. You got a lot of family and friends out here supporting these guys. That's got to be kind of cool to see.
It is definitely. It's awesome. I can't explain it. I mean, it's just going off of last 2 weeks ago. You know, I thought I had no more energy, and I was like, oh man, I can't even. How am I gonna do a?
You are a
All-Star
Facebook
game?
machine, I tell you.
And then people were like, man, Eloy, don't you ever rest? I was like, nope. But I guarantee you, after today, I'm gonna take a well rested, a couple days. But at the same time, I got to go back, start recruiting teams.
Right.
We had a league meeting this afternoon at 1 o'clock. That was for about 2 hours. Went very well. Met some new potential teams for next year, and a lot of exciting things that happened for 212.
Incomplete pass, by the way. 3rd down and 15 for the Cactus. Talked about potential new teams. What are you looking at as far as expansion? Are any teams going away? New teams coming in? I know it's early, but how's it looking at this point?
At this point, we have maybe 1 or 2 teams going away for various reasons. But we have today we had about 5 or 6 new teams that were there.
Oh, good.
Very excited. Just to give you an idea, they're coming from Corpus. One team is coming out of Corpus. I also got a verbal commitment today, a team out of Houston, and then a couple more San Antonio teams. They're looking to beef things up here in San Antonio.
Incomplete pass brings up a 4th down now and 15 yards to go. Cactus going to punt it away. And back, Corey Cooks to the deep back for the Mesquite Ball Club.
So what do y'all think about these uniforms, by the way?
They're very pretty, but the numbers need to be bigger. That's
Or the lettering, we're just having problems deciphering who's who, and like of course the duplicate jersey numbers.
Yeah,
But it keeps us on our toes.
yeah,
they're very sharp. I do wish the numbers were a little bit better, but a little bit bigger. But they're very sharp uniforms.
yeah. And the reason, the vendor that we go through is Scoreware, based out of Tennessee, and he's done some awesome uniforms for me. And I talked to him. We negotiated the deal on getting these.
Right.
And you're not the only one that said the numbers. And the reason the numbers are a little bit smaller on these is because of the stars on the bottom.
Yeah.
We could have done bigger numbers and then not had the stars. But the stars give the jerseys definition, and these players loved them. Something new that they added the spats too. Trying to get that professional look. And like I said, those jerseys are through Scoreware. Scoreware.net. Check them out.
A low snap on the punt. Punter going down and getting the ball, punting it almost straight up in the air, but it took a Cactus bounce, and it's going to be killed at about the 40-yard line for the Mesquite Club. They'll take over their 1st down and 10 from their own 40, going right to left. 9:57 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 17-7, Mesquite on top of Cactus. We're joining the booth by Mr. Eloy Vera, the commissioner of the South Texas Amateur Football League, and now 3rd year of existence from the league. What's the biggest lesson that you've learned? What's the biggest change you think you're going to try to implement for next season? And what's your favorite part of the league that you're going to try to enhance?
Definitely my favorite had to been the championship game, and definitely the All Stars right in line. That was a lot of fun. The championship game, making it that big.
Right.
Y'all were there and y'all did an awesome job, and that's probably the best thing I did all year was honestly, guys, through using KMAX Sports. And the lesson I learned was probably definitely had to been traveling distance, getting teams to commit to the league.
Right.
So there won't be any teams leaving and giving blocks. And definitely in awards, as you saw earlier, I don't know if y'all heard it, but I gave out 2 new awards this year. We actually just won the GM of the Year, which went to Austin Vipers' Hank Morris. The Rock Award, which went out to Keith Clay from the Austin Vipers.
Right.
And Coach of the Year, which went out to Michael Wallace of the Killeen Revolution.
And just real quick, a quick 13-yard pass completion from Dante Hunter to Dale Jenkins. First down and 10 for Mesquite at about the 36-yard line. And now Hunter scrambling to his left, got a lot of room at the 25-20. Now runs out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Good speed there by Dante Hunter from the Austin Vipers. Well, talked about the new teams coming into the league and maybe one or two teams going away, but the league itself seems like it's in very solid footing, and it seems like the fan base seems like it's growing. It's partially through Facebook with all the efforts that you've done, but it just seems like word of mouth is starting to spread. People are starting to learn about this league.
Oh yeah, and they are. And like I said, when I talked to somebody earlier, they're like, I didn't even know there was any kind of football like that here in San Antonio. I was like, yeah, we're in third year in existence, and they actually came out tonight. I saw them. I was like, hey, funny you came out. He goes, I told you I was going to come out. But yeah, definitely the league's growing, and like I said, I expect a lot of good things in 212. And the competition's only going to get better and bigger. Right. That's for sure. There's teams right now in off season hitting the gyms. They're doing two practices a week, one gym and one conditioning.
Oh wow!
Because they see that it's, everybody's out to be number one, and it ain't easy. So that's what we're trying to do.
Little screen pass there. Actually, it was a lateral that one hop to the intended receiver, and the receiver brought it down to about the 10-yard line. I believe that was Corey Cooks on the run, but offsetting penalties here.
That was pretty close. It looked like the ball. It was a forward pass. It should have been incomplete, but yeah. Corey Cooks alertly picked it up and made the referees make the call, and referees let him play. Took it all the way down to about inside the 5, but offsetting penalties. We're replaying first down.
So first down and 10 for Mesquite from their own 18-yard line. I got one more question for you, then we'll let you go. I know you're a busy guy. We'll get that right after this. Okay. First down and 10 from the 18-yard line. Pump fake. Under pressure, spinning over here to the near side. Now the ball's loose on the field, but a scramble, and who's got it? Looks like Mesquite fell back on it. They did. As getting out of quickly was Dante Hunter recovering his own fumble. JB?
And it looks like Simon Guerrero again back in the backfield, causing havoc for the quarterback. And didn't tackle him, but made a play for the ball. And Dante had it out there, not holding on to it. And Guerrero managed to get it on and fumble, and a big loss for the Mesquite Conference. And Lord, I was just talking to Hank Morris earlier too, being on a pregame show. I mean, the Austin Vipers kind of ran away with the championship. They scored a lot of points, a lot of very lopsided wins. As part of forming a football league, how much the competition level, what time frame do you give it to bring all the other teams back up to speed, or kind of even things out?
I'm shooting for this year. I'm definitely going to see a big difference, and next year, I'd probably say within 2 years, you're going to have some of the best teams in the state of Texas, for sure. Right now, like I said, I get a lot of teams calling me. They want in. They hear the good things, and they know the competition level is going to be great. Like I said, Austin Vipers came in this year, new team on the block, but they showed everybody what they can do, and now they basically got a bullseye on them.
Well, right, they have a bullseye on them, but also they set the kind of level of play that everybody wants to
beat them.
Beat them or come up at least compete against them.
Yeah,
and that's only going to be better for the league when you got some very, very tough games.
Yeah, and that's what it's always been my goal, and that's why when I started talking to Hank last year. He was kind of saying, well, what about the competition? I said, well, I can't promise you it's going to be there next year. It's gotten better from year one, of course. But if he can come in, and we start building around teams like him,
right,
other teams are going to want in, and they're going to want to use his format to make it better. And my team as well, we have a team out there, and I started doing the same thing. I was like, this works, this doesn't work. And other teams, like I said, right now, they're really motivated. They're all saying the same thing. We got to do this. We got to do that. You up down to the little details, uniforms and stuff like that.
Right.
Because they want to win, and they saw how good the championship game was, how much people they got out there. They want to go to Florida next year, so they're doing the work.
Right. You got a great crowd here. I mean, obviously everybody's set on this side because of the sun, the heat. But it's a great crowd turnout tonight for the All Star game. As again, the Vipers are just going backwards.
Yeah, the best Cactus offense right now is their defense. It was 2nd and 35 for Mesquite from about their own 45-yard line. They tried a little end around that time. I think that was Jarvis